my name's Ben Byng. I'm up here at the Expo for Idaho, the tie-in, and I'd like to do a pattern that has been brought to me by a dear late friend, Andy Pullions. It's the AP Pontoon Dun, and he had a really great way of working with material CDC to install a wing and legs on the outside of the fly that makes it kind of like outriggers, giving it the name Pontoon Dun. One thing I want to talk about is the quality of CDC that you get in this is very important for structural reasons. So I like really good quality CDC. There's been some other stuff out there that's doesn't hold up as well and tie as nice. Just a standard thread. This is a light yellow 8/0. I'm going to do a thread base on here. And for the tails, just take some medium dun hackle fibers. You don't need a whole lot on here. Just need. This is not going to be one of those tails that you're going to need where it's going to actually help the fly in any way whatsoever, other than just being back there as part of imitating a bug. Because the beauty part about this fly is that the CDC wings actually hold it up and kind of act as cantilevers out there for it. So, and tie that tail in. That's actually a good tail set, just like that you normally would do that. That came out pretty good. It's going to be a good little morning. Okay. Typical fine and dry dubbing in the pale yellow. Take a little bit of dubbing. Yeah. Just start it in a normal way that we do. We just take and slide it up there and just kind of give it a nice little turn. Once we come around here in a counterclockwise motion, I sit there and you start my dubbing. And as the thread moves in a clockwise motion, as you can tell, I'm actually just building up a natural taper to this body right here, abdomen. And then once I get up to about, say, a third of the way behind the hook, I need to actually do put a little dubbing ball in there. It makes like for a structure. That's actually going to help elevate the wings when we set them in. So I'll go back and I'll take a little bit more dubbing. And I'll build me up, literally like I was making a little ball here, or a little BB. And I want it in there pretty tight. We're going to jam some thread wraps in there along with more dubbing to elevate the wing. And there we go. That's pretty pronounced right there. So that's what we want. Now what we need to do is we need to get some CDC right here. And what I look for is to get feathers that are a very similar kind of same amount of material and almost kind of the same amount of thickness together. It makes it easier for a more balanced fly. And I'm going to take this to prepare it, and I put the two tips so they curve out like that right there. If you can see how they kind of curve out. That's what we're looking for. And I'll strip off a lot of this base fluff here. We don't need that. And we'll hold those together. And if you ever want to know how to get the tips nice and even, if they're off a little bit, like that, you can hold them up to the light and then slide them together in your hands. You can see now I got the tips nice and even right there. That's a good thing. And I just kind of knead this together. If I need to go back and pull them together again like that to where I can get them to a manageable amount, that's what I just do. And then I'm going to set this right up on top here. Now the wings that just transfer them, they're basically over into my left hand here, and then you come up with a pinch wrap. See that? Come back down, and then straight down and back up, straight down, back up, holding those wings literally up on top of the hook here. That's what we're looking for. Now I'm advancing my thread forward 3 or 4 wraps, and this is the secret of the fly right here. so that I made this collar in here area. And I have, these are useful to us. We can use these to make legs. And basically these are the outriggers when we're all done with the pontoon done. So if we try to bend them back just in any fashion, they don't want to stay. So what we've done is this little thread collar. Now I'm going to take 3 wraps going back so my thread is right in front of the wing, and kind of sideways to the fly here. I'm actually going to trap one set of fibers back along here. You can see them kind of, they're to the side of the fly. They're faced to the back, but we'll take care of that in a little bit with the move that we're going to make. And then on the opposite side, I'm going to trap the fibers over there. Give it a good 3. You got to tighten it down with good 3 wraps here, because if you don't, you're going to end up with these are going to try to work their way undone basically. So it's really important to have those thread wraps in there. Okay, so then we're going to go back to our dubbing and just take a little bit of dubbing here. Now this is where it gets a little bit frustrating for some tyers, but if you go back to that principle where I said where you just start the dubbing off and then roll it up there and get it caught, and then now I'm really kind of in a counterclockwise direction going up this way. See how tight that's getting? I want to take my legs and my wing and come completely behind the wing, and that just kicked it up right there. See what that did to the wing? I'm going to pull the legs on my side and come behind the wing, the legs, and through the top of the wing at this point, causing the leg to stick out. I pull the far legs coming out and over and down, and right here is critical because this dubbing will grab onto the CDC. Now what I want to do is just cover those bumps up with the remaining amount of dubbing there. It doesn't take much to do this fly. Okay, good. Now I'm going to take the twist out of my thread here, because if not I'm going to fight that. I'm going to come up here and whip finish this off. Now to get your length of your outriggers, your legs, kindly pull this down, not pulling too tight, and even with the hook point, trim off. And you're going to see how these stick out to the side here. And if anything's below that little area of the legs, just trim it out of the way. You want this fly to ride down in the surface film. That's right up on, actually in the surface film up on top. It's a dun, so, but the body is a key strike indicator for the fish. And that's it. I don't use no head cement on this, because if you do, it runs right into the dubbing and the CDC, and you don't need it if you do a nice whip finish. So very effective fly, very useful, and highly visual on the water. So.